Hitting hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta. YouTube.com is where you find our page. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Free and available. All your favorite podcast platforms. Spotify, Odyssey. Download us for free. Leave us a 5-star review. Follow me at JMCH316 on my Twitter page. Don't forget, Roku and Amazon Fire is also where you can catch us. Look, next week for the Atlanta Falcons, as they're already on the West Coast, they're already in Seattle. They don't have to travel anywhere. Next week becomes important. And let me explain to you why next week becomes important. We can talk about wins and stuff don't matter. But if Arthur Smith is 1-24 between this year and the start of next year, he won't be the head coach of this team. At some point, you have to find a way to win games that you are playing well enough to win. I don't think the Falcons should have won yesterday, but they should have won week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. And lose the way that you did at home with the Saints. Yesterday, you showed some resiliency. But next week becomes important as this is a winnable game. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go anywhere. You're already there. And if you go out and you lose next week, now you're 0-3, and you have to come back home to take on a playoff caliber team in the Browns. And at that point, unless Mariota plays lights out football, you better be willing to make a quarterback change at that point. Because 0-3 is 0-3 in a net results business. And you can scream and holler about it doesn't matter about wins. It does matter about wins in the NFL. You can never say wins are secondary. Go look at when the Detroit Lions bottomed out with the 0-for season, right? They went through 4 coaches in 5 years during that stretch. Look at when the Browns bottomed out with Hugh Jackson. They went through, ready, 4 coaches in 4 years to find somebody to get. You want to go through 4 coaches in 4 years because you can't win football games? Because that's where your team gets into spinning around. If you want to rally the home crowd and get them to have some excitement, it has to be more than just we played well in the second half. We almost did this. We almost did that. There's an old saying that says perception has the same effect as truth. And 0-3 and not winning and playing well is the same as, again, they played really well. You've got to rally your home crowd. And you've got to get people to want to buy in and be excited about this football team. If they're 0-3 at that point, we talked about the reason I didn't want Desmond Ridder to start the year is I did not want to put him behind Drew Dolman, Caleb McGarry, Elijah Wilkinson. I didn't want to put him behind those guys. If I'm going to get my quarterback's brains beat out, let it be Mariota. If I can't run the football, let me have Mariota be the guy to turn and hand off. But I think the offensive line has played well enough. They run the football enough that there are enough things that can help out Desmond Ridder now. And if you're 0-3, you want to get your home crowd ready to go, you want to get them to rally the troops, put Desmond Ridder in game number 4. I don't think you start him this week. I think you play Mariota. And again, you're out there. Mariota's been run. I think you do all of that. But if you lose again, and especially depending on how you lose, if he has another 2 or 3 turnovers, hell, my rookie quarterback can do that. If my veteran on his 3rd team in 7 years can't protect the football, I know my rookie can't be any worse. And they've done enough with their offensive line for me to say, okay, I think these guys could. Last week Lindstrom graded out as the highest graded player for the Falcons. We'll see what the grades are this week. I haven't looked yet to see what the grades are or whatever. But I think they've played well enough on their offensive line that I feel like, because Ridder will stand in the pocket and deliver, and you've got to get your home fans excited about this season. I promise you, Arthur Blank doesn't want empty buildings on Sunday. Okay? You can talk about winning, not winning, all this kind of stuff. I promise you, the owner of the football team doesn't want an empty stadium come 1 o'clock, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday against the Browns. He doesn't want that. How do you get the troops rallied? You can talk rebuild and all. That's why those guys don't talk about it in rebuild. We all know it's a rebuild. We all know that. But there's a reason why you don't say those words to your fan base. Now, we'll talk about more of this in just a second. But first, let me talk about my folks over at coffeeam.com. Listen, Coffee AM is the best small batch coffee roaster in America, right here in the state of Georgia, up in the Canton area. Head to coffeeam.com/locked on today. I want you to check out their wide, extensive menu. K cups, organic, flavored coffees. You need teas, you need a gift set. Whatever you got going on, coffeeam.com has the products that you need. And listen, when that box is delivered to your house, trust me, just open it up and just inhale because the aroma is tremendous. These folks are outstanding. I love their product. I drink it every single day. In fact, I'm running out of bags of their coffee. They sent us a whole big gift pack, and the way I drink coffee, like it's, popping Tic Tacs, I'm running through it like crazy. I love these guys. They're the best small batch coffee roaster in America. If you head to coffeeam.com/locked on, put that first order together. When you get to checkout, use the promo code locked on, LOCKEDON, locked on at checkout. You get 15% off your first order. Coffeeam.com, the best small batch coffee roaster in America. So, look, for what it's worth, 1-2 is still way different than 0-3. And we're going to talk about Georgia Tech later this week because I feel the same way about Georgia Tech. I've told you for weeks and weeks now, the swing game is Central Florida. But the Falcons need to find a way to win this week. Not almost, not come close. This is a beatable football team. It's still Geno Smith at quarterback. I understand it's Seattle. I understand you're on the road, but you're not traveling. It's not like they're asking you to go 3,000 miles. You're already there, and you'll be at I think the University of Washington is where they're going to practice. You're already going to get adjusted to the climate and everything else. You're going to be on time there, right? You can find a way to win this football game, and then you come back home, and we go from there. But this weekend becomes important because you've got to start to rally your fan base. And again, I promise you that the owner is not going to be satisfied with an empty-looking building at 1 o'clock on Sunday. You got to give your fans some hope. Most people don't think of this team as a playoff team or anything like that. But we also don't believe that they're an 0-17 football team. And that's where Arthur Smith missed the point about, well, you guys wrote us off. We didn't write you off. Us saying that you're not a playoff team and being 5-6 wins is not the same as, well, we think they're going to be 0-17 and be the dregs of the universe. You know what happens when you're 0-16, 17 in the league? Again, the Browns, 4 coaches in 4 years. The Lions, 4 coaches in 5 years. You can't just quickly and easily bounce back. You got to give your fans a reason to want to be there. And I really think that if it doesn't go well, if you're 0-3, you better be home and tell me that Desmond Ridder is going to start. If you're 1-2, you at least give your fans some hope, and maybe you get away with continue to play Mariota. But this week, to me, is the big swing week for the Atlanta Falcons. What direction does this team need to head? What direction do we need to go in? Do we go ahead and make our change at quarterback, or do we give our fans some hope that, okay, we blew it week 1, but we found a way to win again, in Seattle, tough place to win. It still has that perception of, hey, it's Seattle and the 17th man, all that kind of stuff. You find a way to win this Sunday, you come back home and you get people feeling better about themselves coming back home. You lose, you better get your fan base excited by telling me that there's going to be a quarterback change. This week becomes huge for the Atlanta Falcons and what direction we go. All right, when we come back, it's not a matter of either or. It's a matter of they both are that important. We'll talk about that next. Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked on Sports Atlanta.